Hey up everybody and welcome back. Alright, what's going on? Well, this as you have seen is going to pace, so hopefully we'll have it all done by Christmas. Well, in fact, for certain we will. I got a little tempted yesterday, as you can see the pipes on and everything, so I squirted a little bit of carb cleaner into the carb and it fired up. It fired and dump, 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 just on the little bit of solvent that I put in there. So, sorry, couldn't resist it. So things are looking good for when I actually get the petrol tank on. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. I'm painting the petrol tank. I had thought that I had to weld a couple of lugs on the petrol tank to mount it up here. I think you can see that. But of course it suddenly struck me that I was wondering why someone had cut them off, and then I thought, well, nobody did cut them off. This isn't a bullet tank. The one for the TT7, which is where it was from, the Interceptor, has a mounting underneath. It bolts into the bottom of the tunnel, and then there's a cross piece. So of course I didn't have that piece, because the one I did have for that tank I used on the new tank when I built the Interceptor. So I thought, bugger, I'll have to go to Hitchcock's again for one thing, and then I thought, no I won't. So I made one. See, that goes up inside the tank, bolts into the tank, and then a cross piece goes on there. So I made that. So then I thought, okay, I put the new rubber in, the big O-ring thing in the chain case, and thought, let's make sure the chain case fits and everything. And then I suddenly realised I didn't have the big collared nut that holds the chain case on. So I thought, bugger it, I'll make one. So I made one of those as well, 3/8 BSC, and that was made from a piece of round. I don't have any hex, so I just made it from a suitable sized piece of round, put it in that six-sided collet thing I have, and went round and did the sides. So that came out nicely, and to keep one of my viewers happy, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, there it is. So, speaking of viewers, we've got more new viewers. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for all the comments. It's getting now, so I'm having to answer comments almost every day. Not millions, but you know. One time I used to leave it till about Thursday to get the bulk of them in and then answer them. But now they come in chunks, 8 or 9 comments at a time. So, hopefully I get to everybody. Those of you that just sort of make a general comment, I don't answer, but certainly any question I'll answer. So thank you for all of that. Right, so what are we going to do today? Well, I'm not showing you the tank because, as you know, I don't do painting videos. My paint is pretty good, but there are a lot better, more professional painters out there who can give you hints and tips about what to do. Excuse me. See, I'm getting a cough. It was 10 degrees Fahrenheit when I got up yesterday morning, which is 10 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 22 degrees below freezing. That's 2.5 nines, more or less. So 2.5 fives, that's minus 12 degrees centigrade, or thereabouts. So, and I look at the long range forecast and we don't have a day or a night above freezing right through to Christmas. So as I said, I won't show you that. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the silencer. So I'm going to show you a little drawing because I want to explain something about the silencer, and then we'll come up and look to see where it's all going to fit in. Alright, silencer. Bear with me here because I'm drawing a little bit cack-handed so the camera doesn't get fouled up. Right, so normally when I make a silencer I have 2 pipes running parallel. So what I have is I have the exhaust pipe coming in like that, and I have the tailpipe that goes out like that, and then that generally goes to a little restriction. I find it if it goes down a bit. This is 1.5 inch OD. So what I do then is I drill holes Right, get the idea, like that. And then using a piece of plate, I close off that end and I close off that end. And this piece of plate, of course, is actually, you know, like that. And then I wrap the whole thing in a piece of 16th. So from the end, I'm going to make sure you're always in here. You see the end of it like that. And then it's shaped like that. So it's going in there and it's coming out here. So the gases come in, they have a little bit of space to expand, then they go back through those holes and out. Well, the one on the Enfield is just a straight one. See, that's flat. So what we're going to do with that is we're going to have the exhaust pipe going in and basically coming right out the other end, like that. Then this is going to be made in two pieces. It's going to be solid there. So this end here, you see, will bell out a little bit to put the exhaust pipe on, and that end actually is going to have a turn on it. I'll show you the picture of the one in a minute. Then this is going to have holes in the top part and in the bottom part of each of these tubes. And then we're going to have a body around it like that. Only this body, instead of being fastened or sort of touching the tubes bottom and top, is going to be touching the tubes on the side. So this in cross section, I've still got room, is going to be like that. So this one, instead of the air, the gases coming out and going into a central place, they're going to come out the bottom. Well, they're going to come out the bottom, they're going to come out the top into this area, and then they're going to go back through into there and out. Right, does that all seem reasonable? So what we're going to do is, I've got some 1.5 OD, no, 1.5 ID. No, what am I talking about? 1.5 OT aluminium tube, which we're going to make that. We're going to have to swage this end, if that's the right word, to get it open, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. And then for this end, hold on a second. Right, I've been and got the picture. Let me zoom you in if I can. If you can see there, this turns almost 90 degrees. So I needed to have a bend in there. So what I've done, I'm going to zoom you back out. The place I get the stainless steel bends, I got a 180 degree alloy bend. So what I'm going to do is cut that there, and then this piece is going to go into the silencer, blanked off, so that will nicely be our turn out. Alright, so let me go and look at the bike. I'll show you the bike and we'll see where all this fits in. Okay, first of all, excuse the sound of the heater, but as you can imagine, I have it set for 55 overnight, and so I've got to warm it up in the morning. Alright, going by all the pictures I've got, the silencer goes straight in there, and there's just about enough room to get it through there actually in that design without cutting into the mudguard, so that's nice. So looking at most of them, they're all about the same. The exhaust pipe or the silencer part starts about here. You have the piece it fits into, so the actual silencer body starts just about at the end of the air filter, goes along right into there, so it's quite a long body. I might make it slightly shorter, I might bring a little bit out, and then it turns here. So that's where we're going to put that piece in. Okay, so we'll cut that off. Can you see that? No, you can't see that. Let me pull you back. Yes, you can. Don't know what I'm doing here, do I? Yes, you can see it. So, if you imagine the way we're going to have it is, that's going to sort of stop there, and then there's going to be the aluminium tube with it blanked off in the middle, so it comes in through the holes into the space above and below, back through holes in here, and then this will come out with that nice turn. So the first thing we're going to do is get some tube that will slide on that. So hold on a second. Right. Here's our piece that's going to go on there. I have some 1.5 inch alloy tube which is going to go through and which is going to match up with this. So I had to put a larger piece on there. And actually the piece I had was too big, so where is it? I cut this length and then I cut a little piece out, closed it up and welded it back up. So now it fits on to there, like that. We'll put some slots in this and then a clamp. So what we need to know, and I've left my ruler somewhere, so I'm going to turn you off. Now just turn you back on because I didn't have my ruler in my pocket. So this is going to stick in here. Whoops, slid right past the damn thing. 1 inch. So, if we want, where's my pen gone? Come on. If we want our silencer to start about here, because actually that's going to go sort of right up to the wall of it. If we want that to start about there, oh hang on, I'm going to walk around the other side of you. That's better. We want the silencer to start, let's say, about there. Keep it clear of that. Then we want that to go in 1 inch. So we'll cut this exhaust pipe off. Don't you hate cutting chrome pipes? We'll cut that off there and that'll fit on. So let me go and cut that off first. So that's that cut short. So we're going to want this to go on there. Now then, the turn comes out here, right? So the silencer is going to be, I'm going to make the silencer about this long, right? That's at 8 inches. Ah. 6, 7, yeah, let's say 8 inches long. So if the silencer is going to be 8 inches long, we want 4 inches of one bit, 4 inches of the other bit. So let me go and cut this off at 4 inches. Right, next stage. So that's going to go on there, like that. And that's going to come out of there. So we want that to come out about there. We want to cut that. Because the higher up I go, the more it's exact. I'm talking funny because I've got the top of the pen in my mouth. Alright. What I'm going to do now is cut that, and I'll cut that in the middle, and then if I want less I can always just cut a little bit off. And the last bit is that there. As I say, I could cut this if I need to. I might just cut it in an angle so it's pointing over that way, but that's fine. Now then, as I say, I've got to weld a piece into the centre there. I'm going to make the ends out of 1/8 inch because there's not going to be a lot of meat to weld to, unlike when I do them the other way. So of course I'm going to cut out of that 1/8 inch a 1.5 inch hole for that to go through. So it's going to leave me with a disc roughly 1.5 inches. I'll have a little hole in the middle from the hole saw, but I'll weld that up and then I'll use that disc in there, and that'll save messing around. So I'm going to go now and make up a cardboard template to see what this end is going to be like. Well, both ends. Okay, there's our template. In there we had just about 2 inches. So I've made this, or I'm going to make the silence at 1 7/8 inches wide, just so as I have a little bit of wriggle room. But don't forget, if you were making that with this template, if we didn't have to fit it in anywhere, we could be, you know, not that accurate with the template. But here, because it's going in there, if I'd have made this template 1 7/8 wide, when I put the skin on it, the 16th, it would have been a 16th on each side, so it actually would have been 2 inches. So the template is less that 1/8 of an inch. So the template, we're going to have 2 of these, of course. That's going to go on there. There'll be one this side, which will go right up to there. And that'll go on there like that. I'll put the slots in. So I've got to cut 2 of these now, one for there and one to go at that side. And the one that goes at that side, you see, will go through there without catching. Just nice. So as I say, I'm going to make these out of 1/8, and the hole I cut out the middle I'll use to block these off. So let me go and mark out some 1/8 alloy and cut those out. All right, we now have our 2 ends. So the idea is they're going to go on there like that. Go on there. The other one will go on there. Oh, that one might need filing a little bit, but that's going to go on there, and that'll go in there. So that fits in there nicely. And oh, hold on. As I mentioned, I got the bit I cut out of the plate, so that will just nicely go in there and blank that off. Then I'll weld the 2 together. I'll weld that hole up, put that in, tack it in a couple of places. I can hear something, as if it's a mouse or something inside the walls. I've got to go have a look. So that'll go in there, and then that'll get welded on there. But that is going to be tomorrow. Alright, it's the next morning. So while we were heating up, I drilled some holes. So that's going to go on there. Doesn't really matter, I just want to keep these oriented. Right, and the same with the back end. Let me go around the other side here. So that's going to go in, that's going to get welded like that. Actually, it just struck me when I marked this, I went the wrong way, didn't I? So I might cut 1 inch off and bring that back in. We can come in 1 inch and still be fine, I think. I don't know. Let's. I'm going to tack weld these 2 plates on, and then when they're done, I'll make sure that I'm straight, because these plates want to be vertical like that when this is horizontal. So I've got to make sure. That one, of course, doesn't matter. I can just weld that on. Although I've got the holes drilled actually, so the holes are at top and bottom rather than the sides. So we'll get that done. Then I'll put this piece in the middle, but let's get these tacked on first, and then I'll tack this piece into here and we can see how it all looks, and then I might shorten this pipe by that inch. Now I've got the end pieces tacked on, put the piece in the middle and welded all that up together. So as I say, that goes through there nicely. goes on like that. What do you think? Shall we move it in that inch? I think so. Let me cut that inch off there. Let me make sure that's how much I want off. Actually, there's 2 inches there to there, so if I give it half an inch, I can bring that in nicely. So let's take 1.5 inches off. I suppose I should really take 1 inch off and try it, but no, 1.5 inches. I just cut 1 inch off to be on the safe side, and I think that looks pretty good. We're going to be about right nicely there to put a little bracket on for that. When that, let's get that vertical. When that's clamped on, it's just nice, and the footrests are there down here, so my leg's going to be there. I think that'll be fine. Alright, let me finish up welding these 2 plates on, and then we'll see about folding up the actual sheet that's going to make the body. Now then, I've got them welded on properly. So what I want to do before I go any further is check about the mounting bracket. So I'll put a clamp on there. We'll get a nice one for later, but this I just want to be able to clamp it. Now, and you see we have this here, but I'd like to have the bracket fastened to where it's tight, where it's the 1/8 inch stuff, to make it a good solid bracket. So that's going to go about like that. The other thing is, if I fasten the bracket on the side, then I'm making it a bit wider, but I suppose I could just take it off with the exhaust pipe. So see, that would be nice to have something that went through the silencer and just put a bolt through. Because once I've built this up, I don't know how much room I'm going to have to get a bolt in there, because that is actually going to be, the silencer is going to be up here. I think we'll put the body of the silencer on, and then what I might do is drill right through the silencer and put a tube through, weld it in each end, and then have a nice long bolt to go through. We shall see. Anyway, there's how that's going to go on. Pull you back a little bit. Whoop, back a little bit, dummy. So that's going to be like that. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is cut a little piece of 16th plate. So let's go and see what we need for that. Now we need to measure up for our sheet of 16th inch to go around there. So obviously that length is easy enough to do. But this piece here, how do we get all the way around there? Well, what I've done, what I normally do, is get a piece of cardboard, wrap it round, get it like that so it meets, and then you just measure this. Now with this, just as with making a bend, you've got to take the thickness of the metal into account. Well, I'm not bright enough to do that, so all I always do is make it a bit longer, and then I can trim it to suit. So I've cut a piece, and as you can see, I've put some felt tip pen on, because as we serendipitously found out a couple of episodes ago, the temperature for annealing aluminium is just the same as the temperature that will more or less just make that disappear. So let me anneal this, and then we'll set up with, I'll find a nice piece of round that we can form that over. Now then, there's the mark's gone, so supposedly this is annealed. That mark there is to let me know, where is it? I want the folds, the joint to be at the back, about in the middle, so that takes me round to the centre of there. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this in here. Like so. Try not to trap my finger. And we'll start bending like that. Oh! Guess I didn't get that in tightly enough. I had an email asking me, was I a mechanic or was I self-taught? And I thought to myself, well, if I'd done an apprenticeship, would I make this many mistakes? You've all been watching me for long enough. You all know what mistakes I'm good at. Oh, come on. Why do I have so much trouble with vices? See, the thing with this is it's a piece of aluminium tube, so I can't really tighten it up too much. Maybe one day I'll invest in one of those roller things. Right. We're getting there. And we are, as I want it to be, going to be in the middle. Alright? So let me press on with this, and when I've got it right round, I'll bring you back. Now, we're almost there, as you can see. So, that goes in there. So we're going to put our joint at the back. So the last little bit is just getting the actual shape here. What I'm going to do to finish off is put some big hose clamps around, 3 of them. Pull the ends in, pull the centre in, and then we can tack it and we'll be alright. So as you can see, it's still not just exactly right. So I'll keep working on it here with a soft hammer to work on it like that. So let me continue that. Now I've got it folded up now. So the next thing to do is to fit it on this. We're going to put the joint at the back. Now of course we need to clamp it up. So what I'm going to use are some large Jubilee clips. Or hose clips as they are here. So we'll tighten that up. Let me bring you in here. Yes, Spot, we're going to weld in a minute. Just wait. So let me bring you in. Now you can see the vise pulls that into a certain amount, but not as much as we want. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a clip on. Put it back just far enough so I can get at the weld. But there's something else to take into account here as well, which I'll show you. Now then, you see how it nicely brings the tops in, but not so much the sides. If this was curved all the way, the clip would pull it all nicely. But straight bits, they don't work so well. So what you're going to do is get yourself some, where are we? Here they are. Just some little bits of stuff to put in there so the clip is going over something. So let me do that and then I'll show you. So there it is, tightened up with a little bit in top and bottom, as you can see. That gives the hose clip a chance to really pull it all together. So I'm going to do one at the other end and I'm going to do one in the middle just to be on the safe side. So there's the first end welded up. If you're worried about that, don't forget I welded it on the inside. So that's not too bad. I'll probably, as we say at home, linish that. In other words, I'll sand it smooth and we'll be able to polish it all up. So let me do the other end and the joint down the back. Right, I'll give it a bit of a polish, clean the ends up a little bit. I've got some dents in it. As I say, I've never made one this shape before, so here's something for those of you thinking to make one. Don't put the seam on the back. It's awkward. I should have put it on the bottom. I could have had it closer, just filled it up and rubbed it out, but there, I guess it's the heat and everything, it's sunk in a little bit, so it'll be fine. Alright, let's put it on because come on, pipe, because I want to put the bracket on, or make the bracket up. There it is. Oh, excuse me, if you're wondering what's going on, I'm dropping things on the floor. There we go. It's going to go in there. It's going to go in the head. That's in. That's going to go on there. Okay, there it is, on with a clip on. Now all I've got to do now is make a bracket here. This actually is remarkably rigid. So what I'm going to do is make a bracket out of 1/8 inch, which will go on there. Pull. What I'm going to do is make it, because we're going to have a, well, I could do it two ways. I could make it with a bend, or I could put a spacer. But this is at a slight angle, so I think what I'll do is make it with a couple of bends in. When I've got it made, we'll scribe on there where it goes, weld it on, and then we'll come back, put everything together, and we'll drill and put our bolt in. Right, well, this couldn't be easier as it turns out, because put a piece of 1/8 on there like that, and it's basically right up against it. So I'm going to scribe a mark around that and then I'll go and weld it on. There's the bracket welded on, so what I'm going to do is drill this in situ. I'm going to drill a little pilot hole first. And then we drill a 1/4 inch hole. Hopefully. I just sharpened this one, so this drill, so it's probably as blunt as it can be. Afraid my drill sharpening is a little bit hit and miss. Well, I actually got it right. That. When I've got this bolted on, I've got a little surprise for you. Let me get the green, what's its name? Oh, fiddly diddly. Oh, don't. Oh. Oh, stop twiddling. I'm getting bored yet. I'm getting annoyed. Hold on. Right, we'll try again. What I'm using, I got these in a bunch of tools at a jumble sale. It's what are known as parallel opening, or parallel whatever, pliers. You know how normally, see like those other pliers, I'll show you this if you don't know. Here's a bigger pair. You know when you open pliers, as you close them up, these are at an angle, that's why that wouldn't grip. But these, when you open them up, the two jaws stay parallel. They're really good. Right, so that's that on there. Looking pretty good. Let's pull you back. That's it, a little bit more polishing and what have you to do. And minor annoyance about that joint at the back, but other than that, that's pretty good. Alright, let me show you something. Right then. Here's a little surprise for you. It's not quite finished, but how does that look? Actually, it's another job I'm not happy with. I'm not sure I like this silver paint. I think it wants to be a bit grey, but the other thing is the transfers, which you can only just see. Let me move you around a little bit. We've got to put them in the right spot. It's curving in every direction, and they looked fine, and when I clear coated them, they've come up with a couple of little wrinkles. So, do you know, I looked in the catalogue, and a proper tank with the badges and everything, with the fixing thing, it's more expensive than an aluminium one. So I have to get a filler cap. Forgot that. So anyway, there you go. That's it for this week. Next week we do the chain guard, and the bits have just come to do the front brake cable. Oh, I've got a saddle to make, but got taps coming for the tank. So next week we'll get the tank fastened on, we'll put the taps on and everything, we'll put some petrol in it, and we'll get it running. We'll do the front brake, and then we'll see about doing the saddle. So until then, you all go off and enjoy yourselves.